as an FYI, my colleagues, this remote capability expires at the end of this month, is my understanding. So, so unless the legislature extends this, this is probably, we have committees, of course, next week, but by the end of this month, this might be our last ability to go remote. So unless things change, so FYI. Okay, so with that, I'm going to ask the clerk to please, I know the clerk is compromised with her voice, and you're going to trudge through. We're going to find out how bad your voice is in a second, but would you please call the roll?
Gladly. Councilor Levy.
Present.
Councilor Dela Cruz. She's muted. Councilor, I can see you, but you're muted. Councilor Russell.
Present.
Councilor Estela Reyes. Councilor Dela Cruz. Thank you. Councilor Rodriguez. Is he there? Noted as. Councilor Del Rosario.
Present.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Present.
Councilor Infante.
Present.
Council President LaPlante.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the Vice President and the State Representative let me know that she was not going to be able to be here this evening for a prior engagement. So I just want to let people know that she will not be here this evening. I do expect there may be others showing up as well this evening that are not here right now. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilor Levy? Okay. Clerk, minutes for council approval. Do you have a statement you want to make on it?
I had an opportunity to talk with several council. I apologize for my voice. You haven't gotten minutes in a while, and I recognize that, and I apologize. Tonight, before you leave, you're going to get both sets of the October minutes, and before our next meeting on April 4th, you're going to get all the November and December minutes. I will get you caught up by the meeting after that, which was the November 18th meeting. And I do apologize, and I do appreciate your patience on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk. At this point, we have public participation. Rules are the same as always. 2.5 minutes to give your comments. At the 2-minute mark, Teresa does ring the bell to let you know that you're nearing the end of the 2.5 minutes. You address the chair directly on this. And the first person is Mr. Mali.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. We the citizen demand the best contract for Lawrence Police now. Lawrence Police Union, this union of pride and honor, deserve the best contract. 83,000 citizens are united in support of Lawrence Police Officers Union, Senior Officers Union. Lawrence Police, thank you for your service. Thank you for being the best for our citizens, to protect our citizens. Million thanks to our DPW. Because of your hard work, our city is a beautiful city. We support the union of DPW. We support our Inspectional Service Union. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your leadership. In this critical time for Lawrence Public School, searching for the new superintendent, we must have a superintendent who support our teachers and our wonderful teachers union. Lawrence wants city under God, the best example of the united right for our firefighters, DPW, teachers union, inspection department, and our best police officers union. Remember your campaign promise, save Lawrence, prosper Lawrence, only possible if you support Lawrence Police Officers Union, Senior Officers Unite. We are united to demand the best contract. Congratulations to tonight presenting the best award for Lawrence Police and Firefighters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Eric Lindquist.
Hello, my name is Eric Lundquist. I am a project manager at Groundwork Lawrence in the Green Streets program. I'm here for table matter 55-23, declaration of surplus property for 7486 Myrtle Street. 76 Myrtle Street is where we have run our tree program, the stockyard, the nursery for it, for the last almost a decade. We have planted over 2,800 trees in the city of Lawrence, operating out of this property. It serves as a community garden for the entire neighborhood. It is a very important community cornerstone of this neighborhood. It would be absolutely devastating to this neighborhood for this property to be sold out and developed. Thank you for your time.
My name is Isai Grullon. I live at 52 Walnut Street. I am here about the table. I am here for table matter 55-23, declaration of surplus property 74 to 86 Myrtle. I want to start with that this space is not a vacant lot, it's a garden. It's a nursery for saplings so that Groundwork can plant their trees. It's a land that has been taken care of and nurtured for the last 15 years and developed into a beautiful garden that the whole community can enjoy from free of charge. No one pays for anything that they receive from that garden. It immediately benefits the Arlington neighborhood, and that includes Myrtle Street, Walnut Street, Hampshire Street, Park Street, Bennington, Lawrence, Irvin Ave, everything basically up and down the Spigot River. I want to add that in the past, again, it's been around for 15 years. In the past, the city has cooperated with this garden and this nursery, and we just ask that the city continue to cooperate because, again, it is not a vacant lot. It's not full of trash and old furniture and car parts. It's full of fruits and vegetables and things that people need to survive in this community and do survive through this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Tennis Lilly, Chairman of the Conservation Commission. Mr. Lilly?
Hi there. Thank you, Council President, members of the council. I appreciate the chance to speak today. I'm also speaking about the table matter, the 74 to 86 Myrtle Street being declared surplus property. I'm here speaking in my capacity as the program manager at Groundwork Lawrence for climate resilience programming. For the past 6 years, I've managed the Green Streets Urban Forestry Tree Planting Program, and we run our tree planting operation out of that location. It's a site that allows us to store up to 150 trees and properly care for them. Green Streets has planted over 2,900 trees in the past 6 years in this community, and we have funding secured to plant another 1,200 plus over the next 2 years. That type of an operation wouldn't be possible and won't be possible without us having a site to operate out of, a nursery to store our trees and our planting material, where we can keep them secure and keep them watered, and that we can operate out of and have a lot of control over. The site is also home to a community garden. It's been home to a community garden and an urban orchard for some 15 years. And it's also been the beneficiary of significant public investment. North of $50,000 of state, federal, and local money has been expended in remediating and amending the soil on site, installing and maintaining public water service, installing fencing, and providing materials like loam and mulch. The city's been an active partner in helping to maintain this site. And there's a petition that's been signed by over 150 members of that neighborhood, 150 residents who don't want to see that site sold and converted to commercial development. It is my hope that the members of the council will see how important this property is, what a tremendous asset it is now and has been for the past 15 years. As the previous speakers mentioned, it's not a vacant site. It's not an abandoned lot. It's been cleaned and maintained for the good of the neighborhood. And all that we're asking is that the city council continue to allow that beneficial use. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last speaker is Carmen Acevedo.
Hi, my name is Carmen Acevedo. I live in 19 Shore Street. I have 3 children, small ones, one with a disability. And I'm basically here, this is my first time, I'm very nervous. I am basically here because very soon I will be displaced and homeless. And it's all because the managers are saying that we're paying the rent late. We have tried everything. We have the money. The rent has been paid every single month. Unfortunately, yes, it has been a few days late. But because we have also enrolled in a program to help us, because the program had paid them late, they're just saying that we have no choice than to make a decision, and we're just gonna either stay and pay the rent on time. Again, it has been paid by the program late, not by us. And yeah, it's just, I'm just here because it's hard and, you know, it's not fair. And because I don't have the education to speak to a lawyer or the money to get a lawyer, there's nothing I can do. And unfortunately, we will be homeless with 3 children.
Thank you very much. Why don't, ma'am, Ms. Acevedo, I want you to give your contact information to Teresa, and we're going to ask. I'm not sure who's got Short Street on the council. Which district is that? Is that B, as in boy? I think that might be Vice President Reyes. Get the information, and we'll let you got 3 at-large councilors here, and we'll also let the Vice President know about your issues. She may want to reach back out to you, so that's good. That's it for public participation this evening. The names, addresses, and the topics are being sent to the city clerk to be part of the public record. I know we got a few things we want to get started early tonight, but one of the things I do want to take care of before we get up too far, I want to deal with an emergency matter, and then I want to do a resolution for the police officers right after that. Councilors, there was a bit of a hiccup or a glitch. There's a series of unfortunate things that happened with respect to this document. There is a group, the Puerto Rican Institute, is looking to do an Easter egg hunt on April the 1st at O'Connell Park. O'Connell Park, and so and typically I don't like to move these things as an emergency, but because I think the city is somewhat culpable in the problem that the applicant is facing, I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules, both Rule 11 and Rule 6, to refer to a subcommittee, and then I wanted to declare it an emergency just because of the timeliness of April 1st, and then a motion to approve. So I would look, before we get going on this, Mr. Davila, would you just say a few words about what you're looking for on the first of the councilors, understand what it is that you're looking to do?
Hi, my name is Jose Davila, president of Instituto Cultural de Puerto Rico, Inc.
My name is Vanessa Spendes, I'm the secretary.
Just give us a very brief overview of what you, like, I think I explained it, but just in your words, what you're looking to do on the first. And then I want to make sure that all the sign-offs are all been done. For example, you went through all the different city the city government, so all the sign-offs are there. But briefly give us what you're looking to do.
So on the first, we're going to have an egg hunting. It's going to be an event that is going to be held at the park from 10 to 1 to the public. We request a little early to have the setup. And basically what we're going to do is to have games with the kids. We're going to do raffles for free, bicycle toys, other stuff. And it's what really want to do is just an egg hunting for the whole community. We are planning to invite all the schools to participate in this event. It's going to be, once again, the first from 10 to 1 to the public.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to be looking to suspend rule number 6, which is to refer to a committee. Is there a motion to suspend rule number 6? Motion made by the
Second.
counselor from District E, seconded by the at-large Counselor Levy. We're going to have a discussion. I need to have a roll call vote on that. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario. Yes. Counselor Giovanni Rodriguez, noted as absent. Counselor Vice President Estela Reyes, noted as absent. Counselor Russell.
Yes.
Counselor Dela Cruz. Yes. Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, or we're suspending Rule 6 to send to a committee. At this point, I'm going to look for a motion to declare this an emergency as for public convenience. Is there a motion to declare this an emergency?
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Levy. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Infante. Discussion. Counselor Levy?
Yes.
It's gonna be that day and that place, but since it's not officially approved, we couldn't put it. So if you give us the approval, then for tomorrow, it's gonna be everywhere with the place and the time.
Okay, so. I just wait, yeah. They so many games and the family, so thank you so much for what you're doing right now.
You're welcome. I hope that we can see all of you there.
So, by the way, that was the right thing. Thank you for not being presumptuous and putting the date on there before we actually had the approval, and I appreciate that. If there's no further discussion to declare it an emergency, I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Council. Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Counselor Dela Cruz. Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Vice President Reyes. Absent. Counselor Rodriguez.
I'm sorry.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Gotta write that down. Counselor Selena Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Stephanie Infante?
Yes.
And the president votes yes. I am now looking, this is the last one, I'm now looking for a motion to approve this evening. Is there a motion to approve this
Motion to
document?
approve?
Motion made by Counselor Infante, seconded by Counselor Selena Reyes. Discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call the roll. Counselor Infante?
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Giovanni Rodriguez, absent. Counselor Vice President Estela Reyes, absent. Counselor Russell?
Yes.
Counselor Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Good luck with your,
Good luck.
with your thing. Thank you.
Have a good night. Mr. President,
Counselor Levy?
I would like to get item 7623 from the committee, the ordinance committee, is that the 2022 police officers of the year award resolution to Sergeant Thomas Caraballo, Officer Preston Carmichael, did I pronounce okay? Officer Lise Castillo, Officer Philly Henry, and Officer Jeffrey Sapiens. This was presented by Council President Marla Pram and Council Vice President Estela Reyes, and I'm doing as a formal motion.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Del Rosario. Discussion, I'm going to hand the gavel to the most senior member of this evening, which is Counselor Levy.
Thank you.
Counselors, so, wow, this is pretty intimidating. Counselors, it gives me, and I think all of us, great pleasure to know that we have some outstanding public safety and public service officials. The Exchange Club of Lawrence and the Andovers every year provide Police Officers of the Year and Firefighters of the Year awards. Tonight we're going to focus on the police officers, and at our next meeting we will have the firefighters. The men, and there is one woman who is not present here this evening, but the men behind me are outstanding individuals, and the reason why they got the Police Officer of the Year Award for 2022 is because there was a problem, as we have all dealt with in our city council, with some violence in our school system, and it was pretty, at one point it was a kind of a combustible place. And what happened was that we, as a city, dedicated some resources through the what's the SRO stand for? School Resource Officer. School, thank you, I just had a blank there, and the School Resource Officers, or the SROs. And through the work of the SROs, they really had tamping down the violence that was going on, the emotion that was going on, and because of their good work, there really was more of a calm element at our schools, namely the high school, where the kids could actually focus on studying rather than all this crazy stuff around them. And so these individuals really made a difference, and because of that, I believe we are all going to celebrate and recognize and thank them for their good work. So I'm not going to go into a lot of the detail of the resolution, but these individuals, I'll just read them very briefly here. They led the effort to directly reduce school violence with new techniques and approaches, such as wearing more relaxed uniforms, employing a comfort dog named Lancer, into calm potential situations with more engagement with students and faculty. And they got the award with the Lawrence Andover and the Exchange Club Police Officer of the Year. And because of them, because they're reducing the violence in our schools, that promoted a safe environment for education. And so be it resolved from all of us that the City Council acknowledges the efforts made by these outstanding men and the one woman who's part of this team, and congratulates them for receiving the 2022 Police Officer. And this honor is going to Sergeant Tomas Carballo, as you mentioned, Madam Chair. We'll start off with that one. This is what we're going to do for the rest of you. Right there. Officer Philip Hendrick. Officer Jeffrey Sapienza. And Officer Preston Carmichael. The officer who is not here is Officer Lizette Castillo. Sergeant, I'm going to give this to you, if you wouldn't mind doing the honors for us and make sure that she has this. And do you have a few words you may want to say to the council?
Sure.
Great.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. On behalf of your guys there.
Thank you, Council President. On behalf of the Lawrence Police School Resource Officer Unit, we'd like to thank you for this recognition. It doesn't go by lightly. We truly appreciate it, and we're excited about the work we do with the schools. We'd like to thank, as a unit, the Lawrence Police Department and the Lawrence Public Schools for their support. It's unending and greatly appreciated, and we'd just like you to know that we will continue to work for our students, families, staff, and schools. We will give them everything we have. Thank you very much.
So, should we do a picture? So let's do that. So we're gonna have to recess for 2 minutes. We'll do that, and then yeah, we'll do a picture, right? If you guys can just stay right there, don't go too far. If you want to call the question, Madam Chair, and then we'll take a vote, recess, and then we'll,
I would like to call for a 5-minute recess. Okay, so I would like to make a motion to accept the resolution. Second. All those in favor? So the ayes have it. Roll call, please.
ready? Which direction am I going?
Me.
Starting there.
At the
So,
first one.
Counselor Dela Cruz? Counselor Russell?
Yes.
Counselor Estela Reyes is absent. Counselor Rodriguez is absent. Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Stephanie Infante? I vote yes. And Counselor Anna Levy?
Yes.
The motion passes. At this point, I need a motion for a 3-minute recess. Is there a motion? Motion made by Counselor Russell, seconded by Counselor Reyes. Roll call vote. Counselor Infante?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Selena Reyes, Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez absent. Counselor Estela Reyes absent. Counselor Russell? Yes. Counselor Dela Cruz? Yes. Counselor Levy?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. We are on a 3-minute recess for
Thank you.
I just want the public to know that we just got an internet glitch. This March 31st is not coming fast enough for this guy. So right now, we don't have this going off via Zoom. So, which is unfair to at least one of my colleagues who is using the Zoom platform this evening. But we do need to get going, and we can't stop this. We have a very packed meeting. So you're seeing what I'm seeing on the screen, so you know exactly where we are. This is, we're back? So, but I'm live. We're live? Okay. So this is still going to be on YouTube. It's probably still on Facebook, so that's still being captured there, and on channel 22. So we're going to get going. So at this point, I'm going to look for a motion to come out of recess. Is there a motion? Motion by Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Reyes. Because we don't have anybody remote, it will be a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We'll start off with Budget and Finance Committee reports. Madam Vice Chair of the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to take item 399B22. That is the authorization to expend grant funds, Home American Rescue Plan, Home ARP grant, in the amount of $3,074,052. That was submitted by Awilda Pimentel, and who is the acting Community Development Grant. Also, we have in here, Mr.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Del Rosario, and I do think the acting has been taken out of her title. I think she's a full force
That is correct.
director.
She is
She's no longer acting.
no longer
He's
acting.
no longer acting.
Okay, so the motion's been properly made, it's been properly seconded. Did you wish for Mr. McCarthy to speak?
Yes, they was sent by the full council as a committee report, because at the times, we do not have we had the report, but that report was sent later, and we were not able to discuss it at the level of the Budget and Finance. So, Mr. McCarty.
So thank you, everybody. As Councilor Levy pointed out, because of the late time that the committee had the opportunity to get this report, we didn't have a chance to do a full question and answer, so I'll do a quick presentation and then open up the floor to questions from the council. So the Home ARP is a part of the American Rescue Plan. About $5 billion was committed to the city, to the country for this. $3.1 million was earmarked for the city of Lawrence as part of the Home ARP funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The city adopted and through this administration, chose to create a plan to spend this, which is part of the approval process as required. The city hired Answer Advisory through an RFP process. We organized a city team of various departments. I have a number of the department members are here tonight. I'll introduce them later. We had weekly meetings on this to put the plan forward, create a schedule and timelines, and a drafting of a plan which HUD must approve. The date for submission to Housing and Urban Development is March 31st. We met regularly with HUD to assure that the program, as we were defining it, met the federal goals, and we performed a number of steps of engagement with both the community and stakeholders, including conducting written surveys, interviews with the stakeholders in the community, and public outreach, including 2 public meetings that were advertised in the paper, and more than 200 people attended. The report is now in front of you as a draft. It's more than 40 pages, not including the appendixes, which haven't been attached at this point. And that was done in largely as a part by Answer Advisory as our consultant, and in consultation with the city administration and the departments. The goals of this plan is broadly to address the homeless conditions in the city, and specifically to address conditions which are very specific to this city. The plan was developed to address the core issues which create homeless. There's no single, the plan will identify that there's no single source of homelessness. There are economic factors that weigh in based upon the current market, housing market, and the economy, and the effects of the COVID pandemic. There are also environmental factors, including population, subpopulations within the city, addressing drug dependency, mental illness, issues with elderly care, veterans and family members, the victims of domestic violence. These are all contained and identified in the report as core issues that need to be addressed by the program and that are part of this. So in this regard, that the plan was identified to be very flexible. It's to identify and relieve the specific sources rather than just hand out money as a Band-Aid for people on a temporary basis. And it includes money for addressing legal issues within the housing court, medical issues, dealing with the Department of people who need assistance with the Department of Mental Health, help with veterans benefits, and a variety of other issues. So that's the goal of the project. I do have the members of my team here with me. I have Nicole Lambert from Answer Advisory. I have Marlene Ferrer and Diana Rodriguez from the Community Development Department, Minerva Grullon from the Mayor's Health Task Force, and I'd specifically like to thank Wilda Pimentel, who's Community Development Director. She was the point person on this and a key personnel in making this project happen. And the project's before you, the plan is before you in draft, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Keep in mind, we're still at the place right now where this is a committee report. We haven't had the vote on that, but now is a good time to ask questions if there are any questions. Councilor Russell.
Okay, on page 3 of the handout, on page 40+ page handout, it's $3,274,052. On page 3 of the handout,
Yes.
it mentions $3,174,052. And on the agenda, it shows $3,074,052. Is there a typo? Which is the correct figure?
It is, the typo is on the agenda, it's $3,174,000.
The document was split.
What's that?
The document was split.
The document was split?
You have another item that's 399A,
Oh,
and that has $100,000.
okay. Okay, all right, so that's, $100,000 was set aside to pay for the consultant.
Okay, the second question that I have is, how much of this money is going towards administration, and how much money is actually going to be used on the people that are deserving of it?
The answer is on page 38, that 15% of the allocation is going to go towards administrative services. That's a total of $476,000 So that's going to go to the administration. of
And
this.
the administrative costs will not exceed that 400 and whatever
That is correct.
thousand? Okay.
Those numbers are dictated by policy from HUD.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Through you, Council President, all I have is a comment. I want my colleagues to actually consider this and look at the lady that actually got up. In the first discussion, they were talking about homeless and the type of homeless that we have in our eyes are the drugs addict, they are in the streets actually asking for money. But today, we have a perfect sample in front of us of somebody with 3 kids paying, getting the help, and it's about to go homeless. And this money is going to go to homeless like that. That could be you, that could be me, that could be anybody tomorrow. So keeping your eyes and keeping your ears and keeping your hearts into this type of homeless. Do not
look at the homeless that are out there, maybe doing the wrong thing, that we trying to help them too. They might get the help that they need. But keep in your eyes, homeless like that lady that actually got up with the 3 kids, having an apartment, and it's about to go homeless. Part of this money is gonna go to help that type of homeless. So keep in your mind that type of homeless. Thank you.
Any other councilors who wish to speak before we have a vote on the committee report? Oh, Councilor De La Cruz, you have your hand up. You have the floor.
We were out, I don't know, the light went off, it came back. Council President, my question for that, is that item, what item is that one?
This item is item number 399B22, authorization to expend grant funds Home American Rescue Plan for $3,074,052.
My question is, would that help a student who are homeless at this moment? I know a lot of 17 years old are homeless, they don't have a place where to live. Is that money going toward those kids that are already in high school?
Tell John. Not sure what the question is.
So the question, and we're having some issues here, of course. The question here is, the counselor is asking whether or not these monies are going to go, for example, to some younger, I mean, she said 17-year-old high school kids that are facing some financial issues and they're on the street. I think that's what she's asking. Would this money, would this program assist someone like that?
Yeah, absolutely. The plan itself identifies the subgroups and the people who are eligible for that, and that a 17-year-old that was out of the house and emancipated would be eligible for funds.
Well, welcome. It's Councilor Infante first, and Councilor Infante.
Thank you, Council President. Through you. Hey, Mr. McCarthy. On page 36, the summary of the use of home ARP funding, there is a line item that says tenant-based rental insurance that has 0 under the funding amount column. Now, the situation that we heard earlier, I could be wrong, which is why I'm asking this question. In my head, that's similar to a tenant-based rental assistance. So, could you?
So the city right now has a separate fund of approximately $500,000, which is just earmarked for that subject. That program is actually already becoming in effect. That money was earmarked just for rental assistance, and we figured since we were committing that money to the funds, we could use some of the other funds for a variety of other issues that to address. So we have committed the money to that rental assistance, which is, from the calls we were getting, is very much needed.
Thank you. And how long? What's the time span that you help families that do come to you for the rental assistance program that's currently placed?
Marlene Ferrer is our housing manager, can speak on that.
So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Council President. Good evening, everyone. So we do have a program right now for 3 months right now. So we will help with first, last, and security. If they need assistance for furthermore, we can do that. It's just got launched now. So we did get addressed. She's one of the families that we are addressing due to the fact that I'm not sure if Dan mentioned, we have $204,000 that's getting addressed of transportation for our homeless students at this moment. Just wanted to address that.
Thank you. I'm all set.
Councilor Levy?
Thank you, Council President. Through you again. Part of the question was made by Councilor Infante, but I would like to know how much money the person, like in the case that we had, I know that we're talking about rental assistance. So how much money that person is going to receive during the year? Or if that person can receive money like And then in 6 months, they can come back and say, oh, again, I'm almost homeless, I owe rent, I haven't found a job. That person is gonna receive money again. So how many times that person can get, or how much money is allocated per person or per family?
So the answer is a person technically could qualify to come back for more money. The initial amount of money that the person's available is not a set amount. It's based upon how much they pay for rent. So we'll pay 3 months of the rent based upon whatever the cost of their housing is. So it might be somebody who's in threat of being moved out of the house. It might be somebody who's in the housing court right now. It might be somebody who's looking for a place to live and finds a place, but needs out those 3 months up front just to get inside the house. So that's what the initial amounts are all gonna go to securing those 3 months to make it secure as many people as possible. In the future, we can sit down and take a look at people 6 months down the road or a year down the road need the money. We can look at and see what's available. But like I said, we've had, I think, more than 300 phone calls in interest of this program. So obviously, there's a great need in the community.
I'm asking because I know that's through the RAF program. They are only allowed to give it to the family, no more than $10,000. If the person use that amount, either during the year or if that's like maybe half this year or half the next year, they are not allowed to get any more funds through the RAF. So I don't know, see, in here, you're gonna put like some kind of limit also of the amount that the person or the family can get.
Yeah, we don't have a restriction on the amount, but we do have restrictions on how the money is to be paid. And the person doesn't come to this office and gets a check. We make sure that the money goes to the landlord to secure them for the time in the apartment when the money's spent.
Yeah, that's the same way that the RAF do it.
Yep.
The RAF program do it through CTI.
Exactly.
So they send it directly to the landlord. They don't give it to the person. But it could be like it's, there are sometimes like they are behind on the rent this month, next month, the following, and you pay for that, and they continue. So they can be 1 year, 2 years asking for that. That's just what I'm saying. If there is something set, that's the maximum that you are going to get.
So we can discuss capping it. As I think I expressed, we have a finite amount of money and a lot of need. So whether we get to a second round of payments for other people, that's a big question. But I think what we want to do is make sure that every family has the opportunity at least once to be helped by the city.
Okay, so now they're gonna get like the first, the last, and maybe the security if they got an apartment. Or they need to move from one to the other one.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other counselors on the committee report? Counselor Infante?
Thank you, through you, Council President. Is there a process already planned on how these families will obtain the funding of this program?
Yeah, we're going to do it through a process of RFPing. It'd be similar to the others, so that when the plan goes forward, it has to go to Housing and Urban Development for review. They'll make sure that we have a oversight plan to review how the money's going to be sent out and reporting requirements to make sure that the money's being spent in the appropriate manner. The administration, when we sat down to talk about these funds, talked about using them as wisely as possible to either leverage future possibilities or for sustainability. This program is actually good through 2030, so it's a long period and what we try to do is spend the money in a way that sustains housing and it's like not just a one-time payment and then we walk away from that family. We want to do it like programmatically to address the issues that the person has, whether it's economic or it's some other environmental issues that they need to deal with.
So Counselor Delarose and Del Rosario, and then Counselor Levy.
Mr. McCarthy, and when do we need to action on this? What's the deadline? And if we don't action and try to approve this, what will happen with the funds?
So we have to submit our plan on March 31st. It should be in HUD's hands on that date. There's no set time for them to approve it. It'll go to Washington. They'll review it and get back to us. As I said, we've had intermittent meetings with HUD officials from the local district to make sure that we're complying with the conditions and we're using the money in an appropriate manner. That's why we limited it to the 4 identified categories of housing. All those were reviewed by Housing and Urban Development and seen as a meaningful way to spend the money. So that's, I think, there's a good chance, but like I said, right now, it's in your hands as a draft. If there are comments or thoughts, or we can bring this back and make some changes to this, but I think in the long run, this is the plan that we're putting forward.
So if we don't submit by the 31st, it means like we're giving those $3 million something back to them. Is that correct? Thank you.
Councilor Levy?
Thank you, Council President. Who's going to review the applications?
Excuse me?
Who is going to review the application?
Well, you want to answer? Okay, it's going to be, we're going to put a committee together and review them. It'll be stakeholders and mainly people in department, city department people to review it. So if it was a condition, say we have a program dealing with veterans, Jamie Melendez, who is here tonight, would clearly be on that committee. If we were dealing with some of the issues of mental health, we might have somebody from the Mayor's Health Task Force. So each